Everybody please stand. You join me in a pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. Victor, would you lead us in prayer, please?
Yes. Dear Heavenly Father, we come to you in the mighty name of your Son, Jesus, and we ask you for guidance, Lord, tonight. We ask you for grace upon our lives, grace upon everybody here, Lord. We ask for angels to be upon everybody and to minister to them accordingly. In the mighty name of Jesus, we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Victor. Roll call, Anita.
Counselor Bradshaw,
Here.
Counselor Sedala,
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Howard,
Here.
Mayor Becker,
Here.
Counselor Naranjo is absent this evening and has been excused, and a quorum is declared.
Modifications to the agenda?
Yes, sir, we have one modification to the agenda. We would like to add J1, a resolution 2026-10, a resolution authorizing the application and local match for Department of Local Affairs Housing Planning Grant for Round 4, 2026.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to modify the agenda to add J1, resolution 2026-10. Resolution authorizing the local match for the Department of Local Affairs Housing Planning Grant for Round 4, 2026. Any discussion? Unita?
Counselor Bradshaw,
Yeah.
Counselor Sedala,
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Howard,
Yes.
Mayor Becker.
Yes.
Motion carries to modify the agenda as stated.
Approval of consent agenda, minutes of regular meeting from March 5th, 2026, and approval of accounts payable.
So moved to approve the consent agenda.
Seconded.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the consent agenda for the minutes of regular meeting from March 5th, 2026, and review and approval of accounts payable. So any discussion? Unita?
Counselor Bradshaw,
Yes.
Counselor Sedala,
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Howard.
Yes.
Mayor Becker.
Yes.
Motion carried to approve the consent agenda.
We'll go to citizen comments. Citizen comments, city council welcomes your unscheduled comments. Please limit your comments to 3 minutes. Council will not take action at this meeting. Gene, you're first.
Yeah, thanks. That's it. Cool, we can open the paper.
I got it ready.
Margot couldn't be here, so she asked me to step in.
Be sure and sign that paper if they're money.
Come on. I told you I was gonna bring notes, I didn't forget. Anyway, neighborhood watch and our our leader, Chelsea's here tonight. But I want to commend the people that take their time. The mayor was there for the last 2 months, I think 3 that I know of. Our city manager was there. Chief of police was there. And it's nice because people are noticing that our city administration, the hierarchy is showing up. And that's really, my neighbors are telling me, hey, did you know the chief was there? I said, yeah, I saw him. So it's good that people are noticing. And I think it helps secure our town. The other thing that does is the cleaning of the canal. I don't know if you all have ever taken the time to look. I've looked everywhere but behind the school building. And it's clean. I mean, there's rough spots, but it's really clean and the city has done an extremely good job of getting it cleaned up. We just need some volunteers to jump down in there and get all the junk. Anyway, that's it.
Did I hear you say you were volunteering to do that?
Oh, no, I got bad knees. Urban has a bunch of kids though that would probably think about it. Keyword think.
Ken, would you like to say anything as a citizen? I pick on everybody, so I'm not gonna let you out of it. Chelsea, you're on the list, aren't you? Yep, okay.
No, I'm good.
June, Phil, Marie, you got anything to say? No, okay. We'll move on to scheduled appearances. In order to be on this portion of the agenda, you have to file the appropriate paperwork with the city clerk no later than noon on Monday prior to the meeting. Colorado Trust update on account status.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and Council. So joining us by Zoom tonight, and if you don't make the face bigger, is Greg Hansen. Greg is the Director of Investment Services with Colo Trust. And he'll explain what Colo Trust is. Some of you have heard it, some of you, this will be new. But, and then Judy's gonna talk briefly about it. But part of our, what?
I think Brett's on this too. Brett Parsons is on.
Oh, okay. Hi, Brett. Thank you for being here. You can't see me, but it's Gigi Dennis. I'm the city manager. And we invited both Greg and Brett to join us because currently the city does have some investments with them. And we have been looking for ways to maximize revenue for the city. And we've got a little bit of a proposal to present to you all. But they're going to go through the company, who they are, why we can invest with them, and see what you think.
Good evening, everyone. Can everybody hear me all right?
Yes.
Okay, I'm just going to share my presentation here quick, if that's okay. I just sent the request.
I just sent it back. You should be able to do it now.
Okay. Okay. So my name is Greg Hansen. I'm a Colo Trust. I'm here with my colleague Brett. Myself and Brett came out about a month ago and met with Judy and Kenny. And Gigi had asked us to come out to, give an overview of Colo Trust and economic outlook. So during this presentation, feel free to stop me at any time and ask questions. First thing I'm going to go over is just disclosures. This isn't legal advice, so please consult your counsel if you have any legal opinions you need answered. And number two, Colo Trust is not a bank; we are an investment vehicle. So moving into introductions, City of Monte Vista has been a Colo Trust client for about 28 years. The original account was opened in December of 1998. I've been with Colo Trust for just over a year. My previous background was in municipal finance for 15 years, previously served as the finance director for the town of Carbondale, finance director for the town of Granby, and worked for the city of Aurora and Aurora Water as a senior financialist. My colleague Brett here with me, I'll let him introduce himself.
Good evening, everyone. Good to see you again. My name is Brett. I've been here for a little over 3 years. Also, an ex-government accountant. My first career was in K-12, and an ex-Colo Trust client also. I just wanted to come out, say hi again tonight. Thanks for having us out tonight. Thanks for having us out last year. Thanks for your business. Have a good evening.
So moving to the next slide. So basically, Colo Trust is what we call a local government investment pool. Not sure if you're familiar with the term, but basically we operate as a money market fund where you're able to invest your assets according to state statute. You're able to pool your funds with 2,100 other local governments in the state, which really is going to allow you to gain economies of scale while maximizing safety, liquidity, and yield. Colo Trust was established in 1985 under Colorado's Pooling Act and has been serving local governments for over 41 years now. Again, our three core principles are going to be safety of principal, same-day liquidity, and getting you a market-based yield. So moving into our board of directors, they're going to be made up of peers in the local government world. Board members are elected by participants during our yearly election cycle, and they each serve a 3-year term. So our board's made up of 12 members from municipalities, school districts, special districts, anything that basically is considered a local government. So moving into our current participants, we serve over 2,100 local governments in the state of Colorado. Of those 2,100, about 350 or 17% are cities or towns. We also work with counties, school districts, special districts like water, fire, sanitation, and metro districts. So let's move into our product offerings. Currently, we have, 3 different products for various risk tolerances. You guys are both invested in Prime and Plus, so I'll try to go into those into more detail. So starting with Prime on the left there, it's going to be our only government style fund in the state of Colorado. That means the fund invests exclusively in U.S. Treasuries, agencies, and repurchase agreements. It's our safest investment option, and it's backed by the full faith and backing of the U.S. government. The yield today is currently 3.52% with a 19-day weighted average maturity. This product offers same-day liquidity if the wires are submitted before 11 a.m. It has a $1 a share stable NAV that has never dropped below $1 in the 41 years of being in business. I like to say this product's best for operating cash and ESG investments. ESG stands for environmental, social, and governments. Some cities don't want to invest in oil and gas or military-based products, so this is a good option for them. Moving into the middle product there, Plus, that's going to be our most popular product. Current yield on that is 3.75% with an average weighted maturity of 51 days. This fund also offers same-day liquidity if the wires are submitted before 11. Again, it's a stable $1 a share NAV that's never dropped below $1, and it has everything in Prime plus highly rated commercial paper. That's going to be rated at A1 plus, A1, and P1 by S&P and Moody's. So commercial paper is basically short-term unsecured debt issued by highly rated corporations. For example, you can think of Apple, Amazon, Walmart, or any major financial institution. This is basically like lending money for a short period of time to a very big, healthy company so they can pay their bills. Spreads on this product vary to Prime, but currently Plus is yielding 23 basis points higher than Prime. And the best use of funds here is going to be for operating funds. Moving into the product on the far right is our Edge or Enhanced Cash or longer term investment option. Based on previous conversations we had, I really wouldn't recommend this product to your city. It has a floating NAV that fluctuates based on daily market movement. I like to think of this as more of a 12 to 18 month and further investment horizon. And that's really for reserve funds, strategic cash buckets and funds not needed on a daily basis. Additionally, I'm going to touch on one more product that will be coming out here in the summer. It's basically going to be acting as a CD where you can lock in a fixed rate of return for a period of up to 1 year. Basically, what that allows you to do is lock in your rate for a longer period of time and try to get ahead of some of the rate cuts that are projected. It's not available yet, but when I get the rates, I'll share with you guys and see if we're competitive with any other CDs you might have. Okay, so let's move into a sample portfolio. You can see all of our investments on the left here. All of these investments are according to Colorado state statute. Do you have any questions about, what any of these investments are, how they function, anything like that?
No.
No? All right. So basically the main gist of this slide is we have over 15.3 million assets under management, and the College Trust portfolios are marked to market daily, which means that our values are reported on a daily basis. Again, it's also the only fair value reported pool in the system. So moving into the next slide, investment income. So in 2025, College Trust earned over 700 million for participants. This chart kind of shows you an example of how much investment income you could have expected in 2025 for each given product. Looking at Plus, your main account, you would have got 44,000 per million invested and about 42,000 per million invested in Prime. So if you would have invested, say $8 million in College Trust last year, that would have yielded about 353,000 in Plus or about 338,000 in Prime. So next, I'm going to move into your specific accounts. You have 2 accounts, like I said, Prime and Plus. Majority of your funds are in Plus, but this is the Prime account. Like I said, that mainly invests in U.S. Treasuries. You can see here you invested about $100,000 over the previous year. Your yield was about 4.14%, and you yielded about $4,100. Looking at your Plus account, you guys earned about $48,000 in 2025 with around $1 million invested. Additionally, you can see all of your various sub-funds that are broken into capital, debt, and cash. Another thing College Trust does is we offer an unlimited number of sub-accounts with no minimum balance. Oh, and the yield for your plus account in 2025 is 4.32%. So next up, we have the FOMC dot plot. This chart is basically a survey of all 19 officials on the FOMC and where they think interest rates should land in the coming months and years. Current Fed funds rate is 3.5 3.75%. They're projecting one rate cut here in 26, another rate cut in 27. Each of those rate cuts would be 20 basis points. FOMC has indicated that it expects the neutral rate to be around 3%. That's consistent with its dual mandate of maintaining low inflation and supporting stable employment growth. So we saw, really lengthened periods of low interest rates from, post 2008 until 2022. Basically, what we've heard is, the Fed does not expect for that to occur again, barring some black swan event. There's a lot of crazy stuff going on in the world right now, but that's kind of their plan to, keep the rate right around 3. Next, we have the world interest rate probability. This graph really just shows what the markets are predicting. So if you look, you can see that they're projecting one rate cut here in September of 2027, another one in December of 2027. So they're a little bit, not on the same page, but still, 2 cuts here by the end of 27 is what the FOMC and markets are thinking. Moving on to the yield curve, you can see we're back to a normal sloping yield curve. Basically, what you see is returns are higher at the longer duration you have. In recent years, the yield curve was inverted, which typically is a recessionary indicator. But as of late, it's back to normal. You can see first 3 years of the yield curve are flat, and investing anywhere on that curve is going to give you comparable rates of return. Finally, I just have contact information for our entire relationship management team. Like I said, I'm the primary contact. I live in Summit County, so it's not too hard for me to get down that way. Brett's going to be your secondary contact. If you can't get a hold of either of us, Mac Langford is also a resource who can help you as well. That's really all I got. I was just going to take any questions if anybody has anything or any slides you may want me to go back to. Yeah.
Will those slides be available to us?
Yes.
Okay.
We can send, Nita and I both have them, so we can send them to you.
Okay.
Judy?
Really spectacular work, and I really done well. Thank you, Greg and Brett, for being here this evening, council. As you know, Gigi and I have been trying to figure out where we can get extra income for a while now. And one of the things that came up is that we had quite a bit of funds sitting out there that were really doing nothing. And so we started, Gigi said, what if we started an investment committee? And so I think that would be a great idea. So Lauren and Kenny and Carl Wilshaw agreed to be on our little investment committee, and we brought them in. And Kenny and I actually listened to the Co-op Trust presentation, and then discussed it a little bit further with the investment committee. That's why we brought them in tonight, is we wanted to let you know that we have also talked to SLB Fed, which I wasn't there last week when they presented, but they presented to Lauren and Gigi. We didn't want to pull our funds out of SLB Fed without, giving them an opportunity. They did come back with figures. They were not as high as what we can do with SLB or with College Trust. So I believe we will be sweeping probably about $6 million. I figure that we can earn about $60,000 more based on over the course of a year. If we go with Colorado Trust over SLB Fed, we will leave our main checking account with SLB Fed. and a little bit of savings there just to cushion, until I feel comfortable with moving the funds, so. But that's kind of our plan. We just want to make you aware that that's what we were doing. I don't think we really need a vote or anything. We just wanted to make sure you are aware of what's happening, so.
Well, and then a question for Colo Trust for council. How many transfers can we make in a month?
Limited number of transfers are allowed. And
So
we don't charge any wire fees on our end. Your bank might charge a wire fee, but we do not charge any on our end.
And I want to reassure that this is not a negative reflection on the service or the friendly relationship we have with SLB Federal. They've been good, a good community partner, great within Monte Vista and supporting so many other entities. But we need to maximize what we're getting. We've said for several months, our sales tax has been rather flat. And as prices are going up, we need some additional income. So I'm glad to see Carla and Kenny coming this evening to offer their support. And by our finance policy, it's really left up to Judy, but Judy and me on what we can do with those funds. And so that's why we don't need your vote, but it is a significant amount of money.
Yeah.
For Monte Vista, and we're leaving a lot on the table, so.
And I believe we left a lot on the table last year that we could have probably done some really amazing things with. Me being new, I had really no idea that I could even move money around, so now I know. And so we'll be watching a little closer what we're earning and making sure that we're doing the right for them, maximizing our investment. So.
Just to comment on that, Kenny maybe want to comment on it too. I mean, you're talking about somewhere between what we made last year versus what we're into the year, but what you make in a year, basically, the difference is about $250,000. So, that's not trivial money. The difference between Colo Trust and real Stanley Field Federal was still another 50 to 60K. So that makes a difference in our budget.
Yes.
Like last year, you said we need to find 100,000.
And we left it on the table.
So,
That's good. Thank you guys for being here this evening.
Thank you so much. Let us know if we can ever help.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you for allowing me to present tonight. And Judy, if you need any help moving those funds over, please let me know.
Thank you very much.
You all have a great night.
Can you probably first of the week, make it great.
And just a comment on that too, we're still living about $1 million or so at
Yeah.
Stanley's Valley.
I figured probably about $1.6 million will stay with some, probably right now. We may eventually hold a little more, but I think that'll keep me feeling comfortable at this point.
Very good. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you guys again, Lauren and Carl.
Thank you, Greg.
Appreciate that. Thank you. All right, we will move on to neighborhood watch update, Chelsea.
Thank you. Heard comments, so I wouldn't ramble too much. Thank you. So for those that don't know me, my name is Chelsea. I'm the prevention coordinator with Rio Grande County Public Health. I know I've been here to bother you guys in multiple different capacities over time, so just wanted to clarify which one I'm bothering you with today. So for a couple of you, the first few slides will be a kind of a recap of the Safer Streets program. I believe Mayor Becker, you've seen it. I know the commissioners have seen it at least once, so sorry. So I just kind of wanted to kind of recap a couple of these things about the program so you have a better understanding of the kind of answering the question, what does public health have to do with helping with neighborhood watch? So this is an overview of the Safer Streets program, which is a grant from the Colorado Office of Adult and Juvenile Assistance, which is part of the Colorado DOJ. So now that's kind of got their mission and a little bit more information about that program there. And then on the next one, this is a pretty quick and simplified look about kind of what our decreasing goals are. So to start with, kind of an overview of public health prevention policy is to kind of do address both existing risk and protective factors in your communities. So of course, you obviously want to reduce the risk factors, enhance the protective factors. That's a very quick and easy version of it. So these are kind of the risk factors that we're hoping to address and to bring down in the Rio Grande County community. And the next one has the things that we want to increase and build on in the Rio Grande County community. So increase community engagement and safety efforts, emergency response times, and perception of community safety. So these ones will be largely accomplished by creating opportunities for community engagement and education. The next one, we have our strategies highlighted here. The first three are the big ones that we're doing the more active work to accomplish. The second two are points that we want to make sure that we incorporate into the strategies that we choose. We don't want to do anything in our work that would exacerbate existing community disparities or create community disparities and contribute to isolation of certain neighborhoods or populations. So our first goal, achieve 15% reduction in overall crime rates. So the first objective is on the next one for goal 1. When we started this program, many of the neighborhood watch programs in our area were largely dormant due to conflicts with scheduling, changes in volunteers and staff, and then of course the COVID pandemic that made meeting and community engagement a little more difficult. We've successfully held monthly meetings since November of 2024 in both Monte Vista and South Fork, and have been building attendance at these meetings. You'll see these principles of sustainability and equity come up over a few of these objectives. These are again factors that we just want to keep in mind with our work to ensure the neighborhood watch programs are set up for long-term success and don't stop as soon as the grant ends on June 30th. We also want to seek input and contributions from as many areas as possible to avoid certain places in or around our county and the city being left out of the process. So the next one, this is our second objective, which you'll see some more details on this one in the next few slides. So the initial lights our department was looking at when applying for the grant were priced between $600 and $800 each, which would have provided us with more lights. But after reviewing these with Mr. Vance, our original selections wouldn't operate in our temperature range in the winter, meaning they might not be able to operate overnight in the wintertime. So although we all know that all property crimes only occur during daylight savings time, we didn't think that that would be very helpful in the long run. So we had to look for some different ones and ended up settling on the one that's kind of pictured here. So we found a supplemental source of funding to assist with the purchase of 5 of these lights for the city of Monte Vista, and did some alterations to the budget this year as well to purchase some for the town of South Fork as well. So these will operate at our temperatures and have different light profiles and programming options, and are solar powered with a minimum 10-year life on the rechargeable batteries. So the next goal, decrease the number of reported burglaries. So then under this next objective, we went from 0 programs in Rio Grande County to at least 2 by the end of this fiscal year. So we've hit this 25% goal. And my focus as we approach spring will be ensuring the program's long-term sustainability, excuse me. Although I live here and I'm happy to keep functioning as a volunteer for Monte Vista Neighborhood Watch organizing, after June 30th, there will no longer be a guarantee of resources from Rio Grande County. We do intend to reapply for this grant, but there hasn't been an announcement or posting of its renewal yet. So I don't believe that these are federal pass-through funds and that they come entirely from the state. And I'm sure as you've probably already been discussing at length, funding from there might become an issue, but we're definitely going to be keeping an eye out for that one and similar opportunities to keep this program going. So this is kind of the goal that we hope to achieve with the streetlights. The 15% reduction, and then the final goal for the program. We currently have 2 youth outreach specialists who you may know if you attend our Monte Vista Neighborhood Watch meetings. One is going to be accepting a new position under our Bernie Skip grant that starts on Monday, or will start for her on Monday. But we have interviewed a couple of potential youth for this role. We're currently looking at our remaining budget to determine if we can bring on 1 more or 2 more through the end of June. A previous youth staff and our outgoing staff that I just mentioned completed the youth out resource evaluation, and presented it to a couple of community organizations, including both neighborhood watch meetings and the Rio Grande Prevention Partners Coalition. She's also working on efforts to continue funding for youth mentoring programs, building on a program in place to partner high school youth with elementary students in Monte Vista. Both are also currently planning some positive youth activities in the community that can build on youth self-care and resilient skills. So this one is probably the one where I'm personally not very strong in terms of strategic knowledge. But luckily Corporal Hill with Monte Vista PD is considerably more knowledgeable in this realm, and myself and the youth are researching some proven low-cost strategies to present to local retailers to help bring down some of this commercial crime. So the most relevant part that you've all been waiting for. One thing myself, Corporal Hill, and former Rio Grande Sheriff's Office Sergeant Stephen Pino agreed on was the desire to ensure that Monte Vista Neighborhood Watch meetings incorporated not just opportunities for residents to connect with and ask questions of law enforcement, but also positive learning experiences to build engagement and combat misinformation. These topics allow for residents to understand and ask more about the different services and roles in our community and what they can do to contribute toward crime prevention and community safety. We've also had some opportunities to discuss what are the roles, procedures, and expectations of both law enforcement and community members when observing and reporting on criminal activity, and what happens after a report is made. So this has got an outline of some of the topics that we've covered at previous Monte Vista Neighborhood Watch meetings. And then on the next one, we only have a couple, but there are a couple of other topics that have come up in conversation that we'll be covering in the coming weeks or coming months. And then the only other thing is this flyer is now outdated. As of last night, we've determined that we're going to move it to the 3rd Tuesday of every month instead of the 3rd Wednesday. That kind of worked out better for everybody's scheduling and had fewer conflicts with other meetings and obligations to everybody. So this is an overview of what we anticipate. This reviews what we considered in selecting the locations for the 5 streetlights after we assembled input from neighborhood watch attendees, public works, the police department, and our GSO. This has got a map of the locations that we anticipate installing the streetlights. So there's going to be a couple in for the ones in Monte Vista. There's going to be a couple in the alleys between Jefferson and Madison, between 3rd and 4th, and then 4th and 6th there. And then another one in the alley between that same area between 7th and 8th. And then there'll be one block over in the next alley, and then one right adjacent to 4th Avenue up of the alley between Franklin and Lyle. So this is just a look at some other efforts that will report that we'll be requesting input from community stakeholders in the coming weeks and months from Rio Grande County Public Health. So just some things that you can expect me to bother you about some more. We always invite you to contribute towards data review and strategy selection. And I've also brought some flyers specifically for National Public Health Week, which will be April 6th through the 10th. And everybody in the community is welcome to join us between 9 and 1:30 at the Annex Building. We'll have different resources from other community organizations that partner with public health every day, and then different information about the different departments within public health and what we do for the community, and free food. So, always the most important part. And I think that is all that I have that isn't just like questions and my contact information.
I just want to say thank you to Chelsea and to Rio Grande Public Health for doing this for the community. It's, we're meeting some new neighbors that you don't see normally as far as city council. And so I think it's been really positive, and it's been fun for me just to listen to Corporal Hill, and the chief adds his thoughts on some of these subject matters too. And it's been real positive, so I appreciate your time in doing it.
Thank you.
I appreciate the sheriff's department being there too. It's always nice to hear all the information,
Yes.
but you're doing a good job, Chelsea.
That's definitely been something that we've been trying to encourage is people who live in the county to come to the meetings as well. There's like kind of an assumption that just because it says Monte Vista, it's just people within the city, but we've been trying to push that out, but we're bringing the county too.
Give me and you one of those flyers because I posted it in my office.
Thank you.
And Chelsea gave us a whole bunch of coloring books. Can't remember the title. I love police, or I want to be a policeman, or
Something to that effect. I don't remember the exact title either.
anyway,
Yes.
really positive.
My friend, the police officer, I think.
My friend, yes. And so we're gonna use them for the Easter egg hunt. Get them out to a bunch of kids.
And a few more at the office too, right?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah, there's lots of candy.
All right. We will move on to resolutions.
Every month.
J1, resolution authorizing the local match for the Department of Local Affairs Housing Planning Grant for round 4, 2026. Resolution 2026-10.
Need to put rollers on these chairs. So. Council, I'm gonna ask that you approve something in concept. The I don't think how I wanna word all this. We're asking you guys to approve us applying for a grant with Rio Grande County and town of Del Norte and a couple other, let's see, Saguache County, to apply for a grant because we have to update our housing study. And the county has said, we'll be the fiscal sponsor, we'll do the legwork, but do you guys want to, join in? Because it collectively will cost less money than having hiring a consultant to do each of our governmental entities separate. And so Skip, the administrator in Rio Grande, sent me a draft resolution this afternoon. We've got to change it so it fits municipal verbiage versus county verbiage. The Monte Vista portion is going to be about $5,000 that we'll have to come up with our match to help it. And they'll be able to take the former housing assessment that was done in 2021, I believe. Yeah, and be able to enhance it from there. So a lot of that basic work is done, but it's they're on this March 27th deadline that they have to get the application in. And so if you guys, it's a good thing, asking for your support and a vote.
Can you vote?
Yep.
I make a motion to approve that in concept to have whatever was said.
That's what I need.
So we have a motion and a second for the resolution 2026-10. What? Is that correct? Local match for the Department of Local Affairs Housing Planning Grant for round 4, 2026. Is there any more discussion? Anita?
Counselor Bradshaw,
Aye.
Counselor Scott,
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Howard,
Yes.
Mayor Becker.
Yes.
Motion carries to approve resolution 2026-10. A resolution authorizing the application and local match for the DOLA Housing Planning Grant for round 4 in connection with the Rio Grande County and Saguache County. And what other county? Sorry. Gigi? Rio Grande County, Saguache County, and
Del Norte.
Down to Del Norte and South Fork in it as well.
No, not stop.
Okay. Just
Just don't want from Monte Vista in and Rio Grande County.
And Saguache County.
And yeah, others, but in Rio Grande County, that's the one.
Cool. Are you doing the next one too?
Yep.
IGA, contracts, agreements and leases. IGA distribution of marketing funds.
So you all have attended meetings with the county commissioners and the Rio Grande Tourism Board, talking about the pros and cons and the distribution of the marketing, or excuse me, the lodging tax. So Rio Grande County has a 2% lodging tax that is, that's also assessed in Monte Vista, Del Norte, and South Fork towards the marketing of the county, our entities as a destination. And I believe you guys have this in your packet, don't you? Okay, so the highlights, the revenue will still be, the tax revenue will still be generated by zip code. So we will be getting a percentage of the funds in the 81144. The municipalities are charged with forming and maintaining a marketing group. That's you guys. You get to decide who's going to be on the marketing group. The marketing group then for Monte Vista will be responsible for preparing a marketing plan and presenting it by the end of November each year to the Rio Grande County Tourism Board. And then on a quarterly basis, they're asking that the marketing groups will report and provide a progress report on how their marketing efforts are going. And if the municipality fails to maintain a marketing group, then the Rio Grande County Tourism Board will retain the tax revenue and decide how it would be allocated in our zip code area. And the purpose is for advertising and marketing local tourism, facilitating and enhancing visitor experience. And this resolution is for 5 years. And the commissioners are asking that we go into good faith and sign this along with the town of Del Norte and the town of South Fork. The one concern I have, and I wasn't able to get a final clarification, is that under the fourth whereas on number 3, it talks about the revenue generated by zip code. And the county Rio Grande Tourism Board is going to retain 15% of whatever's collected and then disperse the remaining 85%. That 85% likely will be distributed by the number of hotel beds or Airbnbs that each community has. But this resolution doesn't say that. I mean, it just leaves it void. And so I visited with Commissioner Glover tonight, and he's not sure exactly if the percentages were going to be remaining the same or not, which the current split is South Fork gets 70%, Monte Vista gets 20%, and Del Norte gets 10%. And then there's a little slice in there for Center, because part of Center is in both Rio Grande and Saguache counties. And so their percentage is based off of the Highway 112 corridor and what falls to the south of that. So I don't know if you guys want to.
It's supposed to be calculated by the percent that each municipality, each zip code brings in. So those percentages would change yearly.
Yeah. Part of the reason it's not in there stipulated, to me, on those logos. When we sent this out, everybody was supposed to be notified that percentages were going to be in there because they changed. And with Center being added to it, Southworks portion will take a drop, and Center will come up a little bit, or however that'll work. So that's going to be a moving target until this thing's set. Probably from here on until eternity, it'll move every year. depending on how your hotel does, for example. So really put a percentage there makes absolutely no sense to, you're gonna be sitting at the same type of dollar amount for this year as you were last year. It's not gonna change that at all. 2027, when the new year starts over, then we'll have a true number of what it'll actually be. It'll probably be 64 for South Fork, and I don't know what everybody else is right now. It may not be 64. Just throwing numbers out there could be, I don't see them increasing much as far as beds up there, and you guys will.
Our hopes are
And
the percentages will change, the dollars will keep increasing up. The amounts.
right, and I agree with that. My concern is that RVs also are part of that equation. And Monte Vista can never grow the amount of RV spaces at the rapid pace that the South Fork 81154 is. And so it's always gonna be lopsided.
Well, that's true, but honestly, South Fork that's South Fork's industry. Period. And
Tourism's all they
and you
got.
can't, if you built your RV park out there, you'd have RV income coming off an RV park too. It's like
Right.
if you had that. So I mean, it's one of those questions that we probably would chase for the rest of our lives. I've been chasing it for a lot of years already. But I think this agreement here with the percentages being fluctuating and the dollar still being up, this makes the most sense out of all of it.
Seems the most fair to us.
So we need a motion, and then I'd like to add a little different comment at the end of this that still has to do with tourism. So I need a motion, if you agree with this.
I'll make a motion to approve the IGA distribution of marketing funds.
Seconded.
Been moved and seconded to approve the IGA agreement between Rio Grande County, Town, South Fork Town, and Del Norte City, Monte Vista for distribution of tourism and marketing funds. Is there any discussion? Unita?
Counselor Bradshaw,
Aye.
Counselor Segala,
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Howard,
Yes.
Mayor Becker.
Yes.
Motion carries to approve the IGA for distribution of marketing funds.
Thank you all for doing that. So as you know, or as I told you, Rio Grande collects 2% on lodging. Anita and I attended a chamber luncheon yesterday in Alamosa with where Cale Mortensen was the speaker, and he runs the Visit Alamosa campaign. And granted, Alamosa has a lot of things going for it. It only has one town to promote. With the number of hotels they have, he has a staff of 5. But Alamosa also has a 4% marketing tax, which is spent a little bit differently than just the lodging tax, and that's all by state statute. And so, they print cool little fun facts that because of our 3 communities won't even, figure out how we can continue with Placer AI. They have fun little facts like $69 for every $1 is spent by Visit Alamosa. So they're marked every dollar that they spend on Visit Alamosa, they see $69 in return through visitor spending. Each household in Alamosa would pay $746 more in taxes annually if not for Alamosa's tourism tax. And then tourism supports 491 jobs in Alamosa County. And so because we've got basically four fingers in the pie, we don't collaborate to know how to bring these numbers together and be able to show what the benefits are by just the lodging tax. And the marketing taxes would be, I think, easy to sell to the population because we would vote on it. but the tax is going to the visitors. It's not on anybody local. But that's a decision for the commissioners to make, and they've decided at this time that that's not something that they want to tackle. So just my point, if we all played better in the sandbox, I guess we could have really good facts that we could share on how our dollars are being
I'd go along with
spent.
that. Get it through.
Yeah. Thank you guys for working so hard on that too. I had 7 meetings for all that. Thank you, Jeannie.
Yep.
And thank you, Gene and Tyler, for being here. Did you want to hand that to her?
Yeah. That guy's just going through it.
I won't call you out. With my big. No, all of them for this. All right, we'll go to staff proposals, reports, and action. Because somebody was harassing the troops early, we'll put him last. Recreation.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you, sir. I was harassing someone else.
Yes, I heard that.
Good evening, everyone. So I have two assistants that don't trust the reports that I give. So they wrote my reports for me tonight. So
And your assistant is one of them that's.
one of them is right back here, but the recreation one is not here. So I'm just gonna read from what I have here, so I can stay out of trouble by both of them. So I'd like to share a quick update on our recreation programs and some exciting things happening in our community. First, youth soccer continues to grow, and it's great to see so many kids getting involved. Last year, we had 109 players registered, and this year we've increased to 115. And that's with me not even being here and letting kids in late for late registration. So as soon as they start coming to me and saying, hey, I'm sorry, I'm late, of course I'm gonna say yes. So that kind of growth shows strong community support and a real enthusiasm from our youth and families. Looking ahead, our adult basketball league is kicking off next week. Games will be held Monday through Wednesday, and we are looking forward to fun and competitive season for all participants. Youth soccer season will officially begin on April 11th with games scheduled on Saturdays, and all games, of course, will be out here at Chapman Park. Everyone comes down for that. It starts at about 9 o'clock on Saturday mornings and goes till noon. So all games from Saguache, Del Norte, Creed, everyone will be coming to Chapman Park for those games. We're excited to see everyone back out on their fields enjoying the sport, except for when Durbin has to referee. In addition, we're continuing work on the baseball field. This is an ongoing project, and I'm sure that some of you have heard the rumblings regarding the baseball fields. I am meeting with a couple of folks on Monday the 3rd. I will be gone all next week, but I'm meeting with a couple of folks on Monday the 3rd and updating them with what's going on with that. We have been researching different grants that we could apply for so we'll be applying for several more grants and we have applied for some. Unfortunately, just right now it's not the time to apply for grants because we have been unsuccessful so far. We are talking to community members, community banks in the community about helping us getting this funded for the fields. The fields are a vision that is supported by our city manager as well as planning and helping us out with that. And there's an opportunity there, I believe, to sell some property there. And part of it was the baseball fields in order to reach that vision of getting new fields, having better fields or the best fields in the San Luis Valley. And as soon as we do reach those goals, now we will have the best fields to where we will have everyone wanting to come down here to Monte Vista and play teams from out of town. And now we have a little bit of that right now with our baseball program where people come from all over the state to play in our baseball tournament. So we're looking forward to, getting those fields up and built. We do have some funds for the fields and that, but once we reach the first million, I think it's gonna go really quick after that. The goal for the fields is to reach $3 million to have 2 fields built at the middle school baseball field, as well as the middle schools, the middle school football fields, but to have the middle school baseball field redone and as a turf field as well, that we would be able to use, and it's a joint use deal with the school districts, and the city's doing a lot of the groundwork for that. She goes on to say, we truly appreciate the continued support from our community. None of this would be possible without the involvement and dedication of our families, volunteers, and local partners. We recently had the courts put down at the at Sky High for our adult basketball season. We had 22 gentlemen come out from one of the rehab centers and put the courts down. Each court, it normally takes us 2.5 hours to do it. Each court took an hour to do. And we'll continue with them, working with them as volunteers to pick up and put the courts down. And it saves me about $1,000 every time they go up and down. So that's awesome to see the community really getting involved in that and helping us out with the floors. Any questions for recreation?
Is there any way of just making one of the old fields usable enough for the kids to practice on?
I'll be honest with you, in coaching that sport for 30 years, best place to do that right now is Chapman Park. It's better than those fields that we have. And I had 2 people 40 hours a week working on those fields last year, and they were 1 to 2 innings really playable on, and after that, balls were going everywhere. So right now it would take 80 hours a week out there just to get one field ready to go for them to practice on. Chapman Park, honestly, is the best place for them to go. And that's with my coaching experience in that and dealing with fields.
Well, playing at Chapman was a concern that I had heard because people were concerned to getting hit with a baseball. So I was just wondering if we could.
I get it.
Make
Even
a sandlot,
even before the fields are gone, more people practice at Chapman, and we have our little ones playing games and practicing at Chapman than we're out here practicing. So
okay, I was just curious because I was gonna get a grader and clear it out and make a sandlot out of it.
Okay.
Build it and they will come, Durbin.
Any other questions? That's it for recreation.
Yeah, no. Just Sky High.
Oh, I thought Kids Connection was next.
Oh, they are. And then Mika's got to do it by Zoom.
Oh, there she is.
So you can sit down till you hold fun.
I appreciate that. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Durbin. Anika.
Hello, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Well, good evening. I'm coming to you from the road because we're headed out of town for another fun weekend of wrestling. So Kids Connection, update for Kids Connection. We just finished spring break this week, which means that the school year is very close to being over. That means that the real job is about to actually begin. We'll be back to after school and our Friday programs again this coming week. I wanted to let you guys know that we hired a new staff member. We've actually hired 2 new staff members. Charles started with us 2.5 weeks ago. And then we had Veronica start with us this Monday. So she really got in and got her hands dirty with the spring break week. So with the 2 new hires, I can officially say that Kids Connection is fully staffed. And this is the first time since 2020 that we've had every one of our positions filled. So if you all will please keep your fingers crossed for us that our kids don't chase them away really quickly, and they'll stick it out. then hopefully going into the summer program, we should be ahead of the game for what it takes to get staff trained. This coming Monday, I have another planning meeting with Abby Miles, who's the AmeriCorps volunteer that's working with the city, to touch base on the poker tournament. So I'm hoping to have some more updates for you at the next meeting. She did email me about some potential dates, and so as we were driving, I was Googling all of the events in the valley around the dates that she had given me to make sure that there wasn't going to be a major conflict. So I'm hoping that we can get those dates locked down. Really, other than that, we're just prepping for summer now. We got through spring break, and so now we're on to thinking about what summer is going to look like for us. So that is all I have for you. Do you guys have any questions for me?
Anybody? Nope. Well, just keep us all posted on the tournament.
I did notice that the second date that she had come back, there is an event at Sky High. So I wanted to touch base with Durbin and see what kind of attendance they have out there on that Saturday for that specific event, looking at years before, because it's a reoccurring event, before we locked down that date, just to make sure that we don't have any major conflict and we're pulling people on two different sides of town and competing for more people.
What's the date?
Yeah, well, you broke up really bad.
It's sorry. May 9th, it's that Border Wars concert that you guys hold out at Sky High. So the first date she gave me was May 8th, and it was a Friday, but then I believe Mayor, you had a chat with her and thought that May 9th, that Saturday, would probably be better. So I was looking up May 8th and May 9th, and it looks like Sky High does have an event on May 9th. I just don't know how big of a crowd they pull and if it would really even be any of the same people that would have a conflict that they would have to choose between the two programs.
Normally on May 9th, that event is pretty big. They have a car show as well as they're having a concert at night. And there's also a proposal for a rodeo at the same time. So there's quite a bit going on at Sky High on May 9th. May 8th, I believe there's nothing going on.
Are you looking at Sky High to do that or just at the golf
No,
course?
at the golf course. The plan was still at the golf course. I just didn't want to put something together where we were conflicting with another program. And then we're going to be pulling for people, or they had to make a decision on which or where to support. Which I don't know that we'll even get the same people. My hope is to get all of our tables full. And so that may not even be an issue. I may be overthinking it.
We'll talk when you get back, because I can't remember how many seats there was and how we did that. So after you get back and have your conversation, let me know.
Okay, yeah, I'm meeting with Abby first thing Monday morning, so.
Okay, sounds good.
Perfect.
Thank you, Anika.
Thank you. You guys have a good night.
Travel safe.
We will.
Sky High report, and I am so anxious to hear what your assistant wrote for you.
I like his interpretation. So she said that she would write it up as long as she didn't have to read it. Now, so here goes. Hello, everyone. What's buzzing at Sky High Complex? Sky High Complex has been super busy lately and is really becoming the go-to spot for all kinds of awesome events. We're talking community gatherings, big regional events, and professional events for Monte Vista and the entire San Luis Valley. Huge shout out to Crane Fest. We just wrapped up the annual Crane Fest at the beginning of March, and it was a massive win. This 3-day celebration was a total success, showing off how perfect Sky High is for hosting big regional events. We had almost 4,000 people come through over the 3 days, which is fantastic for bringing folks and businesses into the Monte Vista area Crane Fest is a key event for us and seriously boosts our local profile. Cool new events on the calendar. My assistant wrote all this. We're pumped to be adding some great first-time events to our calendar. We're hosting the first ever Addiction Conference Symposium. This is a super important professional event focusing on public health right here in the San Luis Valley. We want the organizers and attendees to have an amazing experience, so Sky High becomes their annual venue. Valley-wide Health Services to host their very first annual gala. This is going to be a memorable social night that proves how versatile Sky High is. We can handle giant expos and classy formal events. Fun stuff for the community. We're keeping the local fun going with some great community activities. We heard the community had just kicked off country dance lessons. They happen every other Sunday and are fun, energetic way for everyone to hang out and move. It's a great way to build community and have some local fun. So I know all you all are cowboys, so we expect to see you at this dance now, okay? Today is the official day that tickets go on sale for the Cowboy Cumbia Kings concert in May. We're bringing this cool musical mix to the area and expect tickets to fly off the shelves. Get ready for a vibrant night out. We're also happy to help host the Monte Vista Police Department's annual Easter egg hunt in early April. It'll be on April the 4th. It's a great community team up that keeps this joyful family tradition going strong. From massive regional festivals and new professional conferences to family fun and local entertainment, Sky Park is a dynamic and vital part of the city of Monte Vista and the entire San Luis Valley. And the best news of all, Durbin will be gone next week to attending the International Association of Venue Managers in San Antonio, Texas. Bye, Durbin. See how I get treated? See how I get treated? Y'all feel bad for me now, right?
I was waiting for something like that, so thank you.
I like that report.
Do you have any questions for Scott?
I think we're just gonna give him a standing ovation. So, thank you.
Keep your chin up, man. It could be worse.
That's cold. That's cold. Thank you.
Thanks, Durbin.
Have fun, Durbin.
Thank you, Tori, for writing that. City manager report.
Okay. You want me to start with the good stuff or the bad stuff? We had the bid openings today for the wastewater treatment plant. And Rob will have more of the information next, in our meeting the next 2 weeks. We are numb. This is really very expensive for a small community. We put in a request with Congressman Hurd's office today or yesterday. I asked for $10 million in direct congressional spending, and they called and said, well, we'll see if we can get you 2. And then met with both local staffers for Senators Bennett and Senators Hickenlooper. And they're more optimistic. They're like, go for the gusto. We can throw in 10 and see what happens. But to look at that politically, and the president has not been overly kind to Colorado, and our 2 senators are of this opposite party, I'm concerned about that because I don't want them to say, oh, they're being overly greedy, throw it out without coming back with something smaller. So I might go ahead and say, yeah, let's put it in for 5 million and see what happens. But this is, you all raised the rates for 3 years in a row, 4 years ago. And in some ways, from my past experience with the Department of Local Affairs, Energy Mineral Impact, we fund a lot or help fund a lot of wastewater treatment plants and a lot of clean water stuff. Our rates are still relatively low for what other communities are having to pay. And these plants are just, cost keeps rising and rising and rising. So we're still working with the engineers on what it's gonna take for rate increases, if we can stagger it again, kind of see how it goes. We've got to meet with rural development and see if they can extend, give us another loan. Right now, we've already signed the papers for two $10 million loans with them. That's the max, but I guess we can have multiple. The rates are going to be adjusted, whether it's up or down, on March the 31st. So from that aspect, the current 20 million is locked in at 2%. The bad part is that Judy and I are meeting with bond counsel, but our construction loan will have to be with Coal Bank. And the construction loan interest rate, it will be more in the 6% range. So there again, it's a little community shelling out a lot of money just in interest, because the rural development loans won't kick in until the plant is operational. And we estimate it'll take about 2 years to build it. So by next meeting, Judy and I will have met with bond counsel. Rob and I will have met with rural development, and we'll see what we're going to do and how to go forward. Okay, so that's the bad news. Something I think is positive. We met with CSU Extension here locally, and just looking at the impact and kind of trying to view long-term. I don't want people's yards just to all go to weeds, because they say they can't water their lawns anymore. And so we're working with CSU Extension, and we'll likely be doing a joint city sponsored Xeriscape class in August to show folks what they can do to make their lawns in the front yard still pretty, but cut back on the water. And with the way the water is for this year, I think that's going to be something positive, and we hope to get a lot of people interested in attending that. And then when you all go home, if it's still light out, drive down Prospect over here where our pump house is on the corner of Prospect and Country Club Drive. I got with the art teacher at the high school, and they are painting all four sides. All four sides are a little different, and doing their own mural, and they're paying, or it's being paid for through the Monte Vista Education Foundation. So I'm really excited about that. And when the opening of the new multi-purpose building at the golf course will be here in another month or so. And so it kind of puts in a little spot there in the corner. You guys approved a mural ordinance a couple of years ago, and Nita and I are working on changing it. I think it's too restrictive. And right now, our mural on this corner is out of compliance, because it says that murals can only be in commercial districts. And what I would like to see eventually, we have 5 water well built buildings. There was the one on North Broadway has little animal faces. That's one of ours. But the other 3 are in residential areas. And so I'd like to see them get painted and add a splash of art within the neighborhoods. So that's exciting. And then the storage unit that we have to the east of City Hall here, the lady that painted the horses on the bowling alley came to me with a beautiful picture that she wants to paint on the side that'll face the highway of cranes. And I went to Optimistics and asked them if they would pay for it, and they said yes, so I gave her the go-ahead, yes, let's get that going, so we've got community support in some other areas. It'll be kind of fun. That's it.
Any questions for Gigi?
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll go to council, committee, city commission, and council reports. Victor, we'll go to you first. I don't have anything to say.
Not tonight?
Not tonight?
Kind of in the same boat, not tonight.
Wow.
All you.
Tight lipped, they must have something on you guys.
I'll never tell.
Thank you, commissioners, for being here again. Really appreciate you coming, Tyler and Gene. Let's just keep an eye on your neighbors, keep an eye on what's going on. And pray for rain, because we need rain. With that, we will recess this meeting. The recess or adjourn? I don't.
You just make a motion if you would, sir, just like
Oh,
make
yeah.
a motion, go into executive session and then read from the agenda, if you would, or I'd be happy to do it. You can say so moved, either way, sir.
You want to do it. So when you guys need to make a motion to go into executive session.
That's it.
And for the record, this is an executive session pursuant to CRS 246402 sub 4 sub B. This does involve attorney-client privileged information regarding the discussion of policy and law enforcement and the criminal code, actually, in our municipal code. I have reviewed the material and I understand the content to be discussed. It does contain privileged attorney-client information, and therefore this session shall not be recorded.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to go into executive session for legal counsel CRS 24-6-4024B, attorney-client privileged communication, discussion regarding policy concerning the enforcement of the municipal criminal code. The city attorney has reviewed the information and determined that the discussion and subject matter contains privileged attorney-client information in this portion shall not be recorded. Unita?
Counselor Bradshaw,
Aye.
Counselor Sabella,
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Howard,
Yes.
Mayor Becker.
Yes.
Motion carries to go into executive session as discussed.
Okay. Thank you all for being here. Oh, you need to sign that thing.
Is this, just, I mean, you just sign it, and I'll take it, I'll take the rest of the sign it.